Good evening, everyone. Hello. Nice to see you all again. And thank you for coming today. It's been a while. We didn't meet since August. Since July, actually, because we took August off for the summer vacation. And now it's winter. It's autumn, sorry. And we are already back. This is the first webinar of the webinar sessions of autumn and winter, and I'm really happy to see some of you back from the regular attendance. So I'm waiting for everybody to join for about another minute or two, and then we can start. Meanwhile, you can always unmute yourself. You say hi, or you could write down in the chat box, whatever feels more comfortable for you to do. And I hope that you are having a nice week so far. I think, Alisa, maybe you need to log off and log in again because I think it's working fine. Maybe it's just a network problem. How is it going for everybody else? How was this week? So far, so good? Okay. I think maybe it's time we could go. All right, so probably most of you are familiar with my face. I'm Manel, and I'm working on the mentorship program, and also I am taking care of every other activity that we have in the mentorship program. I'm going to leave the floor to Amina. Amina is our presenter for today. And thank you so much, Amina, for taking the time to come and contribute to the webinar sessions. And I will leave you the floor.
Thank you, Manel. Yeah, good evening, good day, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. Please, can you confirm you can hear me? Yeah, how about everyone else? Okay, all right. It's a pleasure to be here and good to see you all. So today we're going to be talking about AI, privacy, cybersecurity, and I have to tell you beforehand that it's going to be very interactive. So I would like you to prepare yourself to answer questions, to respond, give me your feedback, because that will help our learning this moment. Okay? So, but then before I share my slides, I would like to just hear from two persons. Tell us your name, where you're joining from, and what you hope to learn today. I said it, yeah, it's going to be interactive, so please don't be shy.
Just
We're
unmute
in a
yourself and go
learning
ahead.
environment.
We have Zita.
Yeah, Zita. Okay. Okay, Zita first. You can go ahead, then we can have Kimberly.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Okay, Kimberly, please go ahead. Your mic is muted. Kimberly, your mic is muted. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good, thank you. Nice to meet you. My name is Kimberly Vides. I'm based here in Florida, United States, but actually I'm born and raised in El Salvador, but I spent 15 years in Uruguay. I'm a
Okay.
cybersecurity analyst and so happy to participate.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Kimberly.
Thank you.
I think it's Ikram now.
Okay.
Hi everyone. Thank you
Hello.
for the very interesting subject for this webinar. So I'm Ikram Rekabi. I'm based in Brussels right now, and I'm a cybersecurity master student in my last year. And I'm hoping to hear your perspective on this subject because we've been hearing in all our courses, all things are going to change, the cybersecurity frameworks or everything, like
Mm.
the approach in general is going to change because of um, the emerging AI and how it's affecting privacy and how it's affecting it from a legal side as well. So I'm very curious to hear your thoughts and point of view. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, should we give Zita a chance before I move on? Because I wanted two people. Okay, Zita, you can go ahead.
Hi, I'm so sorry for I said I was like willing to say something and then my mic didn't work and it was so like a few seconds of silence. Sorry for that. So what I'm trying to learn here, I'm based in the Netherlands and I'm starting my first cybersecurity job in a month. And I've been going to a lot of conferences and I for sure noticed that AI is such a buzzword that everyone wants AI. And I feel like we don't really
Mm.
consider the cybersecurity side of things. So I'm really curious on your insights, like what risks come with the use of AI.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. So I will start now. I'll be sharing my screen so that you can follow my slides as I speak. So, okay. So can you see my screen?
Yes, all good.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you. Okay, so today we're talking about emerging privacy vulnerabilities in the age of AI and their impact on cybersecurity. And I've heard from you, you want to hear my perspective, right? And then we'll discuss the several risks that come with AI in cybersecurity and privacy in our digital world as a whole. So I have a question for you before we move on. This is the question. If you were a hacker, what AI-related data would you want to steal first? These are the options. So let me just hear from one person. What data would you steal first and why? Okay. I know we're very interactive here. I'm not seeing any hand. Okay. Okay, Kerm.
I would go for email logins and passwords because then I can also get the medical records and also some voice recordings. Because if I can access their accounts, then I can have access to most of the other types of data.
Okay, email logins. Okay, that's actually a beautiful answer. Even though I don't agree completely because we don't usually, well, it's not all the time that you can actually get medical records through email, right? And the other, like credit card, for instance. So,
Yes,
yes,
true.
so this is it. Yeah, so this is it, yeah. Medical records are highly lucrative, right? Especially in the black market because when you have medical records, there are things that you can hold on to for a very long time. And you can exploit for a very long time. It doesn't matter whether the person gets healed from the illness or something, at least they had a past there, right? And then credit card information, it's usually for immediate financial returns, right? Because our banks now are somewhat efficient. You could just easily deactivate your card when it gets stolen. So if a cyber criminal steals it and the person doesn't use it immediately, you can easily deactivate, and then the person will no longer have access to your bank account. And voice recordings, of course, it helps deepfakes, right? People can impersonate someone and then try to get information or even try to scam people from that. And well, I'm glad you didn't choose stickers and chat snippets, right? Because it holds a very low financial value. Not everyone who will fall for blackmails, right? And then even social engineering, you're trying to use someone's chat to sound like the person. Also, well, it may not really work. For me, I'll go with medical records. I mean, it's highly lucrative. So yeah, let's go into our topic proper: emerging privacy vulnerabilities. So this is what we'll be discussing today. We'll discuss the vulnerabilities. We'll have a small demonstration, talk about the impact on cybersecurity. We'll get to talk about mitigation strategies. We'll have a little quiz just for me to know that you've been following the class. So we'll have a little quiz at the end of the session. And of course, I'll give you a chance also to ask me a question. Yeah. And we'll conclude the session, and hopefully we'll finish on time. So who am I? My name is Amina Alison. I know you must have seen the flyer and maybe read my bio from the promotional materials for this session. So I am a cybersecurity specialist, yes, because I specialize in cybersecurity, and legal strategist because I studied law, and data protection advocate because I am very concerned about how our data is being used now. I mean, we have so many surveillance and so many risks, right? Especially with AI. And of course, an AI enthusiast because AI is evolving and becoming a really big thing in terms of security. Not only that it is bringing risks, but of course, it has its positive sides, right? I love to write about digital safety, of course, AI tech and law. And currently, I am the programs manager at Cybersecurity Education Initiative, and also, of course, the data protection officer. So, as I said, we do a lot of cybercrime initiatives, projects aimed at training people on cybersecurity and also getting to convert people who have been involved in cybercrime to try to show them another way of earning to stay away from cybercrime. So by the right here on the screen, I hope is the right for you though. Yeah, by the right on the screen, you see me speaking to some people, and these were beneficiaries of our project. Now that's me. So we're talking about AI today, right? But we must acknowledge that, of course, it has its positive sides, right? It transforms data collection, processing, and security, but also it raises significant privacy concerns. As much as it is helping security personnel to safeguard systems and networks, it is also raising various privacy concerns and risks, right? And it is also widening the potential targets for cyber criminals. And yeah, there are so many vulnerabilities, and today we'll be talking about these vulnerabilities in two aspects. We'll be talking about the technical vulnerabilities in AI, right? Especially as it relates to privacy. And then we'll also be talking about the social regulatory vulnerabilities. So very quickly, let's move on to the technical vulnerabilities. Now, the technical vulnerabilities are actually like flaws in the algorithms and also flaws in data handling processes and also the underlying systems. And one of this risk is model inversion. Now, model inversion is more like an attacker trying to see what how a model was constructed. So to try to just reconstruct it to get the sensitive data it was used to be trained on. Now, this is an example. ChatGPT was once tricked by someone to try to get the personal details of a CEO. And the technique the person used was to repeat a particular word. And then as the person did that several times, the ChatGPT was able to succumb to the persistent prompts to divulge the information of a particular CEO. And then our second risk is membership inference. Now, this is just a way of trying to know whether a particular person's data was used to train a particular model or a particular AI system. It's just to try to check, right? Ask the AI system several questions to try to see which response looks so convincing that you could conclude from the responses that this particular data of this particular person was used to train the AI. Now, not only a person, of course, it could be a place, it could be something that you just want to know. And of course, we know that the AI systems, especially like chatbots, are trained with data that is available online on the internet just by scraping everything to teach the AI how to differentiate between different things. And one such example was done by Doc Mia, right? And it was more of a research project to try different techniques to find out how an AI system can divulge an information to know whether a particular person's data was used. Now, our third example, right, of these vulnerabilities in AI system is model poisoning. Now, this deals with a person trying to inject a certain prompt, right, trying to prompt the AI system with something, right, with a malicious code or malicious prompt to try to corrupt the output of this particular system. And most times, adversarial actors, right, malicious actors do that with the training data of the AI system, right, to just inject this poison so that when the AI is deployed, it will begin to act in a certain way that it was not intended to act. Now, this was something that was also tested on Tesla, Tesla car, to just try to see how that works. And then these people, researchers, sorry, whose mic is on? Okay, thank you. So these researchers just put a particular mask on a traffic lights, right, to try to see how the Tesla will respond, and the Tesla is ready to speed signs. Then our next risk is prompt injection, right? So this is somewhat like model poisoning, but this is done after like you having access to ChatGPT already. Now, this is not at the training data, but at the AI itself now as it is functioning. Now, prompt injection is just like putting prompts into an AI system to try to make it do something that it was not created to do, right? Or try to get sensitive data from a particular person or group of persons, right? Just to bypass the safeguards, right? To make it expose certain internal data. And this happened recently with ChatGPT, especially its agentic use, right? You could use ChatGPT to schedule some things, or to try to make it remind you, or to do certain things for you, to make research for you and all that. And so these hackers try to get it to expose the data of people. So, and then our next risk is data leakage. Now, this is more of the AI system itself making a mistake of leaking data that it was trained on, right? Especially because, whatever you train an AI on, or whatever you tell an AI, the AI usually memorizes it and it never forgets, right? And an example of this is with Amazon Alexa, right? It's recorded and shared private family conversations without consent. So sometimes even the IoT devices you use at home are usually being used to record whatever is happening. And sometimes even some speakers can be attacked to become microphones in your house to record your conversations. And before you know it, the data is being leaked. And if you have been following online, there was even an uproar on Twitter with ChatGPT, where very recently, thousands of ChatGPT conversations were being indexed by Google, and this was done by just clicking the share button. On ChatGPT, you could share a particular chat with someone, right? Just so the person can go through and see maybe the information you were able to get. And that particular share button had a vulnerability where it was it exposed a lot of conversations. Then we also have shadow AI, and shadow AI has to do with AI that employees use at work, which has not been approved by the company. And most times, these AI systems that people use without permission in companies usually pose a lot of risks, especially with data privacy, right? It usually expose sensitive data and proprietary data. And a report by IBM says that 1 in 5 AI breaches were usually due to shadow AI. Then we have defects, and this is something I know most of us are very familiar with because it is rampant now. Everyone is talking about defects. You see a lot of fake videos that look like they're humans, and a lot of voice cloning, just a lot of defects out there. So this is also a vulnerability, right, where attackers or malicious actors try to impersonate people, either using their faces or using their voices to try to trick or scam other people into divulging sensitive information, or even trying to get money from people. And this happened recently too, as well, in North Korea, right, where military IDs, right, were used for fraud using deepfakes. And a report by Deloitte predicts that AI-driven fraud um, losses could hit $40 billion by 2027. And this is because these defect tools are very easily accessible. Anybody can easily access them from GitHub for free, right? To download certain configurations, and then before you know it, we have real-time voice cloning, real-time even facial deepfakes. So Then we also have synthetic identity theft. Now, this is more like merging defects and reality, right? Where there's the real person and the person is also using some fabricated data to just blend it, right? And an example of this happened in North Korea, where it was found that IT workers used AI to create fake. Sorry, sorry, who is speaking? Is someone speaking?
Sorry for the interruption. I think somebody left their microphone on, but now it's
Okay. Okay. So, like I said, an example from North Korea, right? Creating fake digital personas and scamming firms into hiring them. There are real people behind the digital personas and scamming firms to hire them. And another risk is model supply chain risk. And this has to do with when other companies are collaborating with third parties to deploy certain systems. And then because there are hidden flaws, right, or backdoors or malicious code in other systems, especially the systems of the third party they're collaborating with, it now affects the partners or the other parties AI model. And IBM found that 13% of organizations suffered breaches in AI models or applications, with 97% lacking access controls. Now, these are the technical vulnerabilities, right? So I've spoken about several of these, and I would like to just show you some of these vulnerabilities before we move on. Okay, so the first one I want to show you here is membership inference. If you could remember, I told you that membership inference is trying to prompt the AI with certain prompts to try to discover whether a person's data was used in training the AI. Now, this is Marcus Brownlee. I don't know if all of you know him, but he's very popular on YouTube. He usually reviews tech gadgets. Now, I wanted to know whether ChatGPT was used ChatGPT used his data to be trained, right? Sorry, the developers of ChatGPT used his data to train ChatGPT. Now, this is a prompt that I did, right? I asked ChatGPT, generate an image of Marcus Brownlee reviewing new tech gadgets. Now, this is the picture that ChatGPT generated, right? So let me show you Marcus Brownlee. Can you see? Can you see this particular screen that I'm sharing? This is my Google
yes,
search of him. Can you see his pictures? Yes. Can you
yes.
see his pictures? Yes. So and then compare it with what ChatGPT showed here. Can you see? The similarities are quite striking, right? You could even mistake this for his picture, right? Now, you could say, oh, maybe it's went to search or something. I now tried another prompt, right, to try to know whether it searched to generate the picture or whether it actually was trained on his data. I now asked ChatGPT to generate an image of me, Amina Allison, giving a TED talk. Now, I actually have a picture of me giving a TED talk, right? But can you see the response of ChatGPT? It was asking me, could I clarify who Amina Allison is, So this clearly shows that it doesn't have my data at all, right? If it had it, it would have generated. And then another way it would have done this is to just generate a random picture, right? And then if you see the random picture, you just know that it is not me, right? So this is it. By this, you know that it was not trained on my own data, but see how accurate it was in providing the picture of Marcus Brownlee, right? And there are so many other prompts that other people actually use to try to get not just pictures. Now, this is just a basic example, but there are several prompts that people could use to trick the AI to try to know whether someone's data was used. It, it could be medical records, it could be addresses, location, right? It could even be maybe credit card information or anything, because of course it was used, it was trained on data that is found on the internet generally. So this is membership inference. And then I also did another, sorry.
Amina, just to remind you, we have 12 minutes left.
Oh, really? Okay, so let me just show you another one. So this is a picture of a cathedral where I don't know if you heard it on the news, but a billionaire's daughter, right, got married recently, Semi Otedola. And this is a picture from their wedding. And this is an interior part of a cathedral where they were wedded. So I took this picture and I asked ChatGPT to guess the location, and see, it brought exactly in the Lutheran church. It brought the location, and just by just using the interior parts, not even the outside, right? And you could get various locations, and you could see that ChatGPT can actually get the location. How does it get it? Because it was trained on this data. Now, I just want to quickly show us voice cloning, even though this is not real time, but just to show you how it works, right? Just to show you how it works. So you could upload an audio of someone speaking, right? And just upload it here, and then you could get it to clone the voice, or you could record it. So I just want to quickly record so that we can see how this works. So let me just record my voice, and then we can, okay. And then we can clone my voice and then see how it works. So let's just do this. Okay. So let me just read this, right? 20 years ago, our biggest worry was someone peeking over our shoulder at an internet cafe. Today, an AI could generate your voice, face, and deepest secrets without you ever knowing. That's one fast upgrade in risks. Deepfakes are one of the fastest growing AI threats. With just a few voice samples, criminals can clone your identity, impersonate you in calls, and even, okay, so that's like the limit it wanted to get, so that it will be able to clone my voice, right? So let's see, let's get a text that we can use, to clone this voice. So this is it, yeah? So let's just call this A, and let's save the voice. I hope you're following. Can anyone unmute and just let me know whether you're following?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so this is it. It will now ask you to agree to the terms, to say, I hereby confirm that I have all the necessary rights and all, but does it matter? Maybe this will be admitted in court or something, but I can simply tick this without having the right to actually upload a person's voice to this, yeah? So let's save this voice, and then let's try to clone it. So let's Okay, so let's, yeah. Okay, so this is a particular prompt. Let me give you this text, right? So this is a text that I just input, and then let's generate the speech. Hey, it's me. I just changed my phone, so I'm calling from a new number. Could you send me your email password again? I need to log in quickly for work. Don't worry, I'll reset it after. Okay, so it actually has the texture of my voice, right? It has a bit of a texture of my voice. I did this with another recording, and I actually got a perfect. Okay, so this was yesterday.
Hello, team. This is your CEO speaking. I need an urgent wire transfer of $50,000 to a supplier before the end of the day. Please treat this as confidential and don't delay. I'll explain more in tomorrow's meeting.
Can you hear this? Is
Yeah.
anyone following?
Yeah.
It
Just to remind you, Amina, we don't have much time left. We have about 7 minutes.
okay. All right. So let me just rush to finish up. Okay. So right, those were just the examples that I have, and I actually have this interactive activity, but then Manuel, since we don't have time, I'll just quickly move on. So these are social regulatory risks, right? And one of
Amina,
those is,
Amina,
yes.
we could go for the interactive activity. It's the best part.
Okay, all right. So let's do this. So can you share the link? This is just a question that I would like to hear from you.
Yes.
Oh yeah, from you guys, the participants here. So what's the most uncomfortable thing you've ever shared with ChatGPT or another AI? Now, this is actually anonymous, right? But I would like to just share the responses with everyone.
The link is
Manuel,
in the
have you?
chat. Yeah. The
Okay,
link is in the
okay,
chat. You can click on it and write your answer. I myself am going to do the same.
okay. So this is it, right? We'll see the responses here.
I think, Amina, we need you to launch it because I still, when I go
Yeah, I
and click
have.
on it.
I have launched it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Now when I click on it, I can find it.
Okay, all right. Okay, your own picture. Okay, breakup story. Roasted. Okay, blood test. Okay, to know about myself. Okay, okay. All right. Okay. Okay, health related issues. All right. Okay. So I think that's all for now. We don't have time. Let me just stop it here so that I can just move on. Now, we share a lot of data, right? Personal data with AI chatbots, ChatGPT, Gemini, and all. And then we think that, oh, it's just an AI, right? But the thing is, this AI never forgets. Whatever you share is deeply embedded in the system. So no matter what, right, it only takes the right prompt or the right attack for your data to be divulged, right, or for your data to leak, right? So no matter what, try as much as possible not to share a lot of data with ChatGPT or any AI tool. Now, these are social regulatory risk, right, that actually emanates from the data you share with AI or whatever AI has been able to scrape and all that, and whatever AI has been used to get like faces of people, right? Like maybe using facial recognition to gain access and all that. And these are the risks. I will just run through them right? Biometric exploration, you could just be seen as I just move because I need to go to mitigation strategies for you. And I think these slides will be shared with you so that you can just go through them since we don't have much time. So these are social regulatory attacks, right? Psychological manipulation, even regulatory lag, right? Because AI is fast evolving and the risks are just enormous, and laws are not really catching up with AI. And of course, jurisdictional inconsistencies. Then these are things that have happened because of these risks, right? These vulnerabilities. We have, Clearview, where it was fined 20 million euros for illegal facial recognition scraping, like scraping pictures from social media to try to match them with real faces, right? And then it was an illegal activity, unethical. So it was
Amina,
fine. And
just to remind you that we're still seeing the poll. We're not seeing the slides.
oh no, sorry.
It's
Okay.
okay, no problem.
Okay. So can you see the slides now?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Oh, okay. So sorry, I thought I had forgotten. Okay, so these are things that have happened. You must have heard of Cambridge Analytica with Facebook. It happened since 2016, I think, or 2015, and there's a documentary on it too as well. And we have emotional AI tools that can actually manipulate you by your personal data, right? And of course, we have AI that could predict sexual orientation by just facial photos, and we have Neuralink, of course, posing significant risk, of course, especially because the chip is in your brain. So there's the tendency that your thoughts can actually be infiltrated or even be manipulated, right? But with Neuralink, this is actually a future risk, but of course, there's nothing impossible with AI. Now, I have this question I would like to ask you before we move on to the next session. And I would like just one or two persons to answer. Your AI chatbot just leaked 5,000 credit card numbers. What's your first move?
You can
Who is
also
ready
write in
to
the
answer?
chat box.
Okay. Who is ready to answer? Who is ready to answer? Okay, I can. Okay. Manel, you're raising up your hand.
I'm sorry. No, I was not going to answer. But just there are the majority of the answers are B.
B. Okay. B, patch the systems, right, and update policies. Of course, and then let me just tell you this, the answer is not generally here, because this is just one of the things you could do, right? This is an out of the box question with an out of the box answer, right? There are several things to do in such a situation. Some privacy laws actually will require you to even report first, and you need to inform the people, and several other things you could do. So, and these are the impacts on cybersecurity, right? Like I said, you can go through this on your own, because I just need to talk about the mitigation strategies. Then we can close, right? And this is a scenario, right? This is a scenario that you could answer on your own. Then let's talk about the mitigation strategies. So let me talk about this in terms of individuals. The first is for you to protect your personal data, be mindful of what you share with AI. I've said this before, and be generally mindful of what you share online, right? Be mindful of what you share online, and also make sure you have a strong password. You have multi-factor authentication on all your accounts, right? So that it will not easily be hacked, right? And then be alert to AI-driven scams. There are voice cloning scams, right? Deepfakes, right? People can use people's voice to speak to you via video, and you think you're speaking with the real person while you're not. So when someone reaches out to you, make sure you verify through various channels, right? Try to verify through various channels. If someone asks you for a help or for your personal data, you should try to verify whether it is actually the person. Call the person, send a text, visit the person's house, right? Do a lot of things to verify any kind of call or even video chat and all that you get from people close to you. And also you should guard your digital footprint, right? Be mindful of cookies, especially on websites, right? Accepting cookies, they track whatever you do to get information about you, and before you know it, you're being profiled, right? Be mindful of all the things that you do on social media and even on the internet generally, and try to also be very, very vigilant. Don't just believe whatever you see, right? Don't just believe whatever you see. Make sure you verify. Make sure you verify whatever news you hear, because there are so many fake news, even using videos to do that. Recognize manipulation and profiling, right? Always try to check, right? Try to interrogate to make sure that your data is not being used to profile you or to manipulate you in any way. And yes, strengthen your cyber hygiene. Make sure you update your systems, right? Your devices, make sure you update them regularly. Make sure you guard your accounts, put on privacy settings, right? Check your privacy settings on all your social media accounts to see what you're letting such social media accounts get access to or to divulge about you, right? And also the apps that you use. When you check your phone, there are certain permissions that you grant to certain apps that make them to track whatever you do or to get certain information from your phone or your laptop or any device that you use. So check the permissions you give apps. Check your privacy settings at all times, right? This is for individuals. And for the AI system itself, for the development, there are certain safeguards that could be used to preserve privacy. And these are techniques that can actually help to protect personal data of people, right? Like differential privacy, for instance, is just like adding noise to data sets so that the data of individuals is not easily recognizable, right? And then we have federated learning, and this an example that I can use to explain this very well for you is like IoT devices that you use, right? An AI company can actually train the AI on your data, but then the data will not leave your device. It will stay there, right, in the local in the location, right? It will not be uploaded to the cloud to continue the training, but then it can train on it, but your data is still with you so that it will not be exploited. And another thing that AI developers can do is encryption, right? And there are various ways to encrypt data to make sure that they are safe. And one of these encryption is homomorphic encryption. it allows computations to be performed on encrypted data without needing to decrypt it. So an AI system can actually be trained on on data that is already encrypted. So this data is encrypted. The AI can learn from it without getting to know exactly what's in the encrypted data, right? So that while the AI is learning, it is not getting the direct personal data of people. Then secure multi-party computation, and this is directly addressing things like supply chain risks, right? This is to enable multi-parties to collaborate on different tasks or different competitions, right? But then their input is being kept private so that data is not leaked. Then adversarial training is just to train the AI system on these different techniques that I have explained earlier, all the vulnerabilities, right? Or all the prompt injection, model poisoning and all, to just use that to train the AI to recognize an adversarial prompt and all. So those were privacy preserving learning for AI. And then for regulation, of course, we have the general data protection laws, right? Especially, I know you know of the GDPR, and so many other countries also have their data privacy laws that actually help in safeguarding AI from AI systems from data privacy risks. But most of these laws are not really catching up with the advancements of AI. Like I said, there's usually regulatory gap, right? And thankfully, aside the GDPR, EU has the EU AI Act, right? It's just like an augmentation on the GDPR to safeguard AI systems from data privacy risks. And EU AI Act actually safeguard against high risk AI systems, right? And it has so many other regulations. But like I said, of course, you find out that it is usually not enough. Then we also have international frameworks, right? We have like NIST, like ISO 27701, right? And several, like also IEEE, all these regulations and standards try to regulate against all these AI risks. Then for organizations, of course, organizations can have privacy governance to try to safeguard their systems, try to make sure that there are access controls, try to make sure that there's data minimization, there's encryption in storage of data and all this. And then also risk assessments to try to assess the risk of several AI systems that companies use, right? These are things that organizations can do. And most importantly is employee training, right? Because most people are ignorant of all this risk, right? And then training can help them to be aware, and not just to be aware, but to also teach them how to protect themselves or how to mitigate this risk. Then also regular security audits to try to check whether everything is in place, whether certain regulations and standards are being followed at all times, and whether there is also an emerging risk that can be protected, that can be mitigated, sorry. So yes,
I'm
we
sorry,
have come
Amina,
to
that
the
we
end.
are very behind the schedule.
Yes,
So we only have
so
5 minutes left for Q&As.
yes, so this is the Q&A actually. This is the
Great.
Q&A. So can you share the link?
Yes. So
Yeah,
please
so it's
find the
just 5
link.
questions. Yes. Okay, so I'm coming. It's just 5 questions. It will take you about like 1 minute or so.
You can find the link in the chat box. So click on it And you have something that Amina prepared for you?
Just to check whether you've been following.
It's not activated yet, Amina.
Okay, so actually my screen is lagging. I'm coming.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, it is. Okay, so let's just do a question and answers while it is loading so that we don't waste much time. So if you have any questions, you can ask me before we can do the quiz. Any questions?
You can raise your hand, or if you're not comfortable with speaking, you can write it down in the chat box, and I will read it out for Amina. So it's time for you to interact. If you have any questions or any remarks, ideas, observations. Yeah, I know the poll is not yet active.
It is now live.
We are waiting for it.
Okay, it is
Yeah,
now
we are
live.
waiting for it. Meanwhile, you can ask questions.
Yes, so the quiz is now live. Okay. Okay, I can see people are
We have
already
a Christina.
answering.
You can go ahead with the question. Meanwhile, the others, you are now able to go and answer the Q&A. And at the same time, we're taking questions. So Christina, yes, please. Christina, you can unmute yourself. Christina, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, maybe she's having an issue with her mic.
Maybe, yeah. So there is a question from Favor. It says, for someone seeking to transition into cybersecurity, what would you advise be the first point of action?
Okay, so it's to find the materials online, right? But yes, first is for you to check YouTube videos on introduction to cybersecurity, just to be sure that you're really interested in it, right? If you're sure you're interested in it, then you find materials. There are several free courses that you can start with. You can check Cisco, for instance, has this free course on cybersecurity that is actually wholesome. You can learn a lot from it. I think the pathway is called Cybersecurity Junior Analyst also. So find the courses and then learn them. And then also find a mentor to guide you. Of course, you're entering into a new terrain and you need someone to tell you, okay, this is the way you should do it, or this is what you need to do, right? Find someone and try to join communities. There are many communities that can actually guide you. You can ask anybody any question, and you can also get opportunities, right, from communities. So yes, basically, I hope I have been able to answer your question.
All right, I think we are taking two more questions before we wrap up today's session.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I
Hi.
know that, yeah,
My mic is working now.
great,
Okay.
Christina. Right.
Thank you very much, Amina, for the information. I wanted to ask, I'm not sure if you mentioned it before when you were talking about that case where people have received a prompt through email and then they, like, it sort of gets all that data, like the calendar information. How can we prevent this from happening, or how can we protect ourselves? How can we be more mindful about this potential kind of attack in the future?
Okay, it's for you to be careful with what you share, right? But basically, vulnerability is actually from the system, not from you, right? But from you, you need to be mindful of what you share. But in this instance, it was just from your calendar, right? I mean, making the AI agent to be able to schedule things for you and all that. And that was where the vulnerability was. So it's not really from you. The vulnerability is from the system. But for you, it's just to be mindful of what you share. Try to, as much as possible, to share as less of you as possible with AI systems.
So is it like specifically not sharing the calendar, like not linking the calendar to AI agents, for example?
So like I said, right, this particular vulnerability is not from the users, right? Of course, you can get AI agents to help you schedule and do all those things, right? It's just your calendar, right? And it is actually helping you be an assistant to you. So the vulnerability is actually not from you. But of course, yeah, maybe not share your calendar, but I mean, it's something that is a necessity. But like I said, the vulnerability is actually from ChatGPT, not the users.
Okay, thank you very much.
We can take one more question before we finish. Meanwhile, I have shared with you a feedback form that would help me to improve the work on the webinar sessions. So please take just 2 minutes to answer it. I would be more than grateful. If there are no more questions, we can wrap up for today. Is there any other questions? Okay, there is one from Chai. If cyber attack is common, how identity verification is safe nowadays? Between parentheses, scanned NFC enabled government ID and required facial recognition.
Mhm. Okay, so this is a facial recognition risk, right? And then, of course, there are certain places that, of course, your facial recognition is needed for security reasons. So most times, these things don't really depend on you. That's why I started with the technical vulnerabilities, right? They don't really depend on you because you're compelled to give this information. And sometimes you could enter a store and then they have a CCTV taking an image of you, taking videos of you, right? And you don't really have control over these things. So the vulnerabilities here are technical vulnerabilities from the systems themselves, right? From the AI systems that have been developed. So actually, what you should be mindful of is the companies you relate with or the organizations. Try to be sure that they are actually following regulations and standards. They have all the safeguards in place before you interact with them. Have I answered your question?
Yeah. So I guess this is it for the questions. I will please ask you again. It's an anonymous feedback form. It just helps me to plan better and prepare better for our future sessions. So for the next session, it will be on October the 23rd. Of course, we will post about our monthly webinar every first week of the month. So follow us on LinkedIn so you could have all the information about it. Now I have to say thank you so much, Amina, for the time and effort voluntarily invested to share your knowledge with everyone. I highly appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, also for taking the time to be here with us. We appreciate that, and we love our community, and we love to get around every month and have a space where we can share knowledge. So thank you, everyone. Wish you a wonderful weekend ahead and see you next month in the next webinar. I will leave you the last word, Amina.
Yes, all right. Thank you so much. It was really a good time here to share knowledge with you. So thank you everyone who participated, and thank you to everyone who was very interactive responding to the questions that I had. So enjoy the rest of your day or your night, depending on where you are. And see you some other time, maybe in some place. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Have a lovely evening.